Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive into a truly powerful film with me today?
Absolutely, I'm excited to explore this one.
It's called I'm Still Here.
Ah, powerful title.
It is, and the film lives up to it. It takes us on a journey through Brazilian history, family resilience, and the power of memory, all interwoven.
And from what I've read, this isn't just any historical drama. The director, Walter Salles, had a personal connection to the story.
Oh, that's right. He was actually friends with the real-life Paiva family during his younger years.
Adds a whole other layer to it, doesn't it? That
Her
personal touch.
Definitely does. I think to understand the film's impact, though, we really need to set the scene. Transport ourselves back to 1970s Brazil,
A turbulent time for sure.
a country bursting with culture, music, art, but also under the grip of military dictatorship.
A duality that the film captures so well. You have this vibrant spirit of Brazilian life, but always with this undercurrent of fear, of oppression.
And right at the heart of it all, we're introduced to the Paiva family, a loving, close-knit family. They had a lively social life.
Rubens Paiva, the father, was a former congressman and activist played by Selton Mello in the film.
A man of principle, outspoken against the dictatorship.
And then there's Eunice Paiva, the mother, played by the incredible Fernanda Torres. She's the anchor, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy for their 5 children.
Imagine that, trying to shield your kids from this political turmoil that's engulfing your life.
Their home was a haven, a space for intellectual discussions, gatherings of friends.
But this sense of security is shattered when one night,
Rubens is abducted from their home by the military.
it's a scene that's hard to watch, the suddenness of it, the violence.
Sadly, it reflects a horrifying reality of those times. Forced disappearances were a tactic of the regime. Thousands vanished, families left with no answers, just agonizing uncertainty.
And from that moment on, the film shifts. Eunice transforms.
She goes from a loving wife and mother to this relentless seeker of truth. She refuses to be silenced, demanding answers from the authorities, embarking on this tireless search for her husband.
It's her strength, her resilience, that really drives the narrative from this point on.
As years pass, her fight expands beyond her personal loss. It becomes this broader struggle against the dictatorship and its crimes.
Embodying that spirit of resistance simmering beneath the surface of Brazilian society.
And it's not grand gestures of defiance, but the quiet determination of people like Eunice refusing to let their hope, their memories be extinguished. That makes it so powerful. You know what's really fascinating about I'm Still Here? It goes beyond just the Paiva family story. It speaks to something broader in Brazilian cinema itself.
You've mentioned this before, this idea of a humanistic lens in Brazilian film. What do you mean by that exactly?
It's a focus on intimate human stories, not always big spectacle, but really diving into the lives of ordinary people. I'm Still Here is a perfect example.
So not just a political thriller, but the emotional core of a family facing this huge injustice.
Precisely. And if you look at some of Walter Salles' other films, like Central Station, that same approach shines through.
It's like he's inviting us right into the hearts and minds of his characters.
Makes it all the more impactful, that's for sure. And speaking of Salles, his directing choices here are noteworthy. Shooting the film chronologically, for instance.
Oh, that's unusual, isn't it? Most films jump around for efficiency.
Right, but Salles wanted the actors, especially the children, to experience the story's emotional arc naturally, to truly live it.
So no jarring shifts in mood. They're going through it as it unfolds.
Exactly. And it shows, especially in Fernanda Torres' performance as Eunice, you can sense that gradual hardening, that growing determination as she fights for answers.
It's as if the film itself is mirroring Eunice's journey. That passage of time, how memories work.
You've hit on something there. And to further that connection, Salles cast Fernanda Montenegro, Torres' real-life mother, as the older Eunice.
Wow, now that's a casting choice. Creates this visual link between past and present, almost blurring the lines.
It's brilliant. They look so alike, it's uncanny. Montenegro even joked she should have been uncredited, make people think it was Torres in old age makeup.
I bet. Audiences must have been doing double takes. Speaks to the power of family resemblance, transcending even film itself.
And that's what Brazilian cinema does so well. It's not just tea entertainment, it makes you think. It sparks conversations.
You mentioned Sal encouraged improvisation on set, too. How'd that play out?
It brought a spontaneity, a realism, especially with the child actors. Sal wanted those genuine moments of childhood, unscripted, authentic.
So, not rigidly sticking to the script, letting those organic moments emerge.
Exactly. And this speaks to a broader aspect of Brazilian filmmaking, that collaborative spirit. director and actors working as partners.
So different from those rigid hierarchies you sometimes see, where the director is absolute ruler.
It makes for a more fluid process, a film that feels both personal and universal.
And this collaborative spirit goes beyond just the filmmaking, right? Extends to how Brazilian cinema engages with the audience.
Tell me you've noticed that too. It's not just about passive viewing.
Definitely.
Don't
How does
think.
that work, this engagement? It's more than entertainment, it feels like.
It's about tackling these tough social, political issues, but in a way that invites you to think, to engage. No easy answers. It's about prompting reflection, discussion.
Not shying away from complexity, using film to explore those narratives that are often silenced.
Exactly. And I'm Still Here does this perfectly, showing the brutality of the dictatorship, but also that resilience of the human spirit, the power of memory to resist being erased.
The title itself is a statement, isn't it? I'm still here. Like a declaration of defiance against those who tried to silence them.
And that message goes beyond just Brazil's history. It's the power of individuals to make a difference, to stand up for what's right, even when it seems impossible.
A reminder that even in dark times, hope persists. And the film doesn't just stay on that political level either. It brings it down to the personal, the Paiva family's experience.
Showing how trauma ripples through a family, affecting relationships, memories, their very sense of self.
So not just a thriller, but a deeply moving family drama. Love, loss, resilience, those bonds that hold them together.
It's this blend of the personal and political that makes I'm Still Here so potent. You connect on multiple levels, feeling their emotions while grasping the bigger picture.
You know, it strikes me, I'm still here. It's not just telling a story, it's like a bridge between the past and present.
Absolutely. It forces us to confront that dark chapter in Brazil's history, but then it also asks, what's the lasting impact? How's it shaped Brazilian society even today?
Makes you think for sure. You mentioned earlier the film's ending has special significance. Can you tell us more without spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet?
Well, let's just say the final scene, it offers this glimmer of hope, a sense of closure. There's a cameo appearance that, for those familiar with Brazilian cinema, it adds a whole other layer of meaning.
Oh, now you've really got me curious. I need to see this. I'm still here. It sounds like one of those films you have to experience, not just watch.
And it highlights what Brazilian cinema does so well, telling these human stories that connect with people globally.
It's a reminder that art, it can be this force for change, for getting people talking, keeping those silenced voices alive.
Exactly. The title itself, I'm Still Here, it stays with you. Eunice Paiva's resilience, but it also asks us, how do you rebuild a life when a part of it's been ripped away?
That's something to ponder as we go seek out this film, peel
Yeah.
back all its layers.
It encourages us not just to remember, but to see how the past shapes us, and now W. How do we prevent history from repeating? How do we fight for justice? Those are questions that go beyond just Brazil.
It challenges us to look at our own societies, how we can contribute to a better world.
I'm Still Here doesn't give easy answers, but it's a starting point for those tough conversations.
A film that stays with you long after the credits roll, prompting thought, discussion, and hopefully a deeper understanding of how oppression impacts people, the importance of memory, and just how strong the human spirit can be.
And on that note, we urge you, our listeners, go find I'm Still Here. Let it challenge you, inspire you. It deserves to be seen, talked about, shared. It reminds us that even in darkness, there's endurance, and that seeking truth, justice, is a journey worth taking.
And that wraps up another deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of film and history.